Okay, so you'll get 2 pounds of clay like we did for the other one. Then you'll just tap it out again like we did for the other one to flatten it out like we did for the other slab. This clay that I've had it sitting out because it was a little too soft to use. And I got more clay, so we're able to do this now. I don't think y'all can see you.
Can't see me?
No.
Whoa, right?
All right, so I forgot that one of the first things you need to do is figure out the size you want for yours. I've done the math for you, like I said, so that if you want an 11-ounce mug, this is the height and the width of the template you make. And a template is just a piece of paper that you use to guide what you're cutting out, your shape. So that's all we're doing for that one.
You're such a good teacher, Miss Harrison.
Thank you.
You're the best.
I don't know about that.
Right. She just be lying to us.
Oh my God.
But we like her. Oh! Oh! Foul mouth?
She said no ugly words in the video. This one's on my face. Yeah.
So you want to make sure you're rolling out a slab that will match your template, so or big enough for your template to fit on. But also with those guiding sticks, you don't want it to be under 1/4 of an inch.
I wish I was like you, Miss Harrison.
I'm still above 1/4 of an inch, so I'm going to keep rolling it out. It's too thick. All right, so I got it rolled out, got my slab rolled out. And this is where if I'm gonna add a texture to it or a design to it, I can do that now. If I'm pressing it down into the clay, those white boxes back there have all different types of stuff in it. I'm gonna use the lace that's up here for this doily. I'm just gonna lay it on top of it, and I'm gonna roll it onto my slab. Rolling it onto my slab, and there's the design left. So you can do different designs like that.
So cool.
When I have my template, it fits on there. It should just stick to it. Then you're going to use a needle tool or a fettling knife to cut it out. No, I dropped the tool. You want to get as close to your template as you can. I've already got mine a little wonky, but that's okay.
It's okay. You're perfect. Oh, I need to do mine.
I'm trying to do bad. As long as I turn it in.
I came in late today.
All right, so if I roll this up, it makes a cylinder. That is your mug. This extra clay is going to be re-wedged for your bottom, because you got to have a base for your mug so it holds the liquid, obviously. So when you have your slab cut out, you need to be gentle with it. Don't just pick it up and throw it around. Because remember, clay has that memory. But one of the things that you need to, I like to tap mine down to kind of even it out on both sides. And on the end, what you want to do on these ends is we're going to do what's called beveling. And that beveling is so that when we roll it up, it doesn't have a big pouch that sticks out right there. So we're going to bevel it so that it matches up nicely. And to do that, you just cut at a 45-degree angle on one side. Then you flip it over and cut with a 45-degree angle on the other side. You have to flip it over, it won't match up.
Okay, I didn't ask you.
Madison. All right. So now that I have it done like that, I can slip and score it together. So I'm scoring both spots that are going to touch.
Did you fart? Yeah, you did.
Water isn't working. All right. So this might look a little big when you put it together, but remember that is just, it's going to shrink quite a bit. So it will get smaller.
Right.
And to get rid of that seam, we do it the same way we did our pumpkin, which is where we just scratch it away. Then you use the other end of your rib tool to smooth it out. So it should look fairly rounded now. If you look at it from the top anyway, it should look fairly rounded. We'll put our handle over where the seam is because that's the weakest spot and usually the spot that's not the nicest, so we're going to put the handle there when we do it. I've wedged this clay up, so I'm going to flatten it back out so that I can make a base. Now remember, if you didn't wedge very well, you're going to see air bubbles, but just pop them as you go. Wonder if I can. All right. So once you have your base rolled out, you set your mug on top of it. Trace your mug. You're just cutting out the bottom. Then I will need to slip and score the mug on the base onto the mug. Same as I did, same as we do everything. So that includes the bottom here. And we'll fix that seam on the inside. I'll show you how to do that, because that seam, we need to make sure it's well bonded, remember? Because if it's not well bonded and you try to put hot liquid in it, it can explode. That has happened before to some of my students who took their mugs home and they didn't bond it well enough. So the next step we're going to do is you're going to take a tiny coil. Just roll out a little coil, and you're just going to drop it down into the mug, and you're going to use that to blend the inside. And it's just a small coil. I'm just going to drop that in. If your hand can fit in there to blend it, that's good. If not, then you can use the long metal or long wooden tools to blend it. My hand will fit in here, so I'm just going to use my hand. It's stuck. Now remember, these also have to have a foot on them, which is that base on the bottom that just kind of elevates it up. The foot on there works better putting it on there when it's a little bit firmer, not quite leather hard, but almost. So mine's gonna sink when I put it on here, but I gotta show y'all how to do it anyway, so it'll be all right. I'm going to use the inside of the tool to blend the seam, the wooden tool on the inside. I have my mug. I need to make sure the lip is not so rounded, so I'm going to take a little water on my fingers and I'm just going to rub it. And that kind of bends it out, which helps the liquid pour. You don't want to have a lip that's square. It's not comfortable to drink out of. So I have my rounded lip, I have my base on. Now I need to put a foot. The foot goes in the bottom, 1/4 of an inch in, and it should be 1/4 of an inch thick. So I'm going to use slab that I've already rolled out. It's not quite good for this. Merge it up one more time. You can do just like a flat disc for the foot, or you can do a ring. It's up to you and how you want it to look. You could do a coil, but doing a slab works a little bit better because we know slabs have a similar thickness when we're making them. And it's a little bit harder to do that with coils when you're not used to it. Here's a really big air pocket right there. Just avoid that while I'm doing this. So I'm gonna cut this. It's about 1/4 of an inch. I want everything to be about 1/4 of an inch, including the height of the thickness and the height of it about the same. And then it goes about 1/4 of an inch into, so I'm going to cut a little more off. And if I have to do connect a couple like I'm having to do here, so I'm gonna have to connect this, what I can do is I can cut down. I'm gonna overlap them a little bit. I'm gonna hold it at an angle. I'm gonna cut it off there. Cut it off that angle. I should be doing this on the table, really. My base is too thin for this. It's too wet for this. But just so you can see, cutting it at that 45-degree angle helps keep it from bulging out like we did with the original mug. And also makes it slip and score nicer together. So you would slip and score your foot on here. I'm not going to do that with my foot because I'm not actually keeping this one. So it's just there so you can see it. So we have a mug. It's got a little foot on there. It's got everything. What is it missing?
A handle.
A handle. All right, so how we make handles is a little different. You don't make a handle out of a slab because it makes it very weak. So to do a handle, this is everybody's favorite thing to learn how to do. You'll start with a cylinder of clay, and I'm going to do it up here so you won't look on the screen to see it. You'll see me do it right here. You start with a cylinder of clay that's wedged up and fairly even to start out with. And the idea is you're stretching the clay out. But to do that, you have to have water.
Water.
So I'm going to try to do that, what you do is you start out with a cylinder that's about like this. I'm going to move my mug out of the way. And you take water. You usually do this at the sink because you need quite a bit of water to do this, but I'm going to do it up here. And you take it and you just hold it at the top and you pull it down. You squeeze and pull down. Kind of like the idea of like milking a cow, if you've ever done that. And you rotate it with each pull. If you pull unevenly, it'll start to break. Like it's starting to break right there, but that's because of poor wedging more than likely. Yep, broke off. But that could be a handle right there. So I'm just going to keep stretching and pulling it down.
Right.
This is a lot harder than you'd think it would be. You have to have even pressure with the pulls. You have to keep your hand wet. It has to have that lubrication to move through your hand. Then once you've got a good long pull going on there, like I've got now, you want to just curve it over. So you see you have a nice handle. This is the best way to make handles. Once you have your handle made, you cut it off at a 45-degree angle up here. 45-degree angles are everything. And it should be a nice size handle to fit on. I'm going to cut the bottom off where it's kind of wonky. 45-degree angles are everything here. Then I'm going to slip and score my handle on to where my seam is. Remember I had that seam on here? So I'm going to slip, score that handle right on there. If your handle's not sticking very well, you might want to hold your hand on the inside and push it up against there and wiggle it. Push it up against it, wiggle it a little bit, blend it out. You can use a coil around it, but you can see that gives it a nice handle on the mug. That's actually a little small for this size mug, but you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that is mug making.
Wonderful. Learned so much.